Landmine Monitor research has identified 70 countries and 7 other areas as being affected by mines and explosive remnants of war as of August 2009. After 10 years, a reliable determination of the size of the global landmine problem still does not exist. Similarly, surveys, particularly some landmine impact surveys, have overestimated the size of contaminated areas. Landmine Monitor believes global mine and explosive remnants of war contamination affects many thousands, but likely not tens of thousands of square kilometers of land. Although the full extent of contamination is yet to be determined, survey and clearance operations in 2008 and 2009 revealed at least 27 states and 3 areas with some degree of unexploded submunition contamination on their territory. Some 191,682 anti-personnel mines, 10,003 anti-vehicle mines, and 2.5 million explosive remnants of war, including cluster submunitions, were destroyed. Since 1999, at least 1,100 square kilometers of mined areas was cleared, and 2,100 square kilometers of battle areas was additionally cleared. This is the area twice the size of London, and has been cleared in more than 90 states and other areas. Clearance operations have resulted in the destruction of more than 2.2 million emplaced anti-personnel mines, 250,000 anti-vehicle mines, and 17 million explosive remnants of war. Landmine Monitor believes at least 158 square kilometers of suspected mine areas were cleared in 2008. This is equivalent to the area roughly twice the size of Paris. Operations have resulted in the destruction of more than 2.2 million emplaced anti-personnel mines, 250,000 anti-vehicle mines, and 17 million explosive remnants of war. 10 states, including Bulgaria, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, FYR Macedonia, and Suriname, have completed their Article 5 mine clearance obligations, and they were joined by France, Malawi, and Swaziland, which completed clearance in this reporting period. In 2008 alone, mine action programs cleared almost 160 square kilometers of mined areas. This is the highest total ever recorded by Landmine Monitor. With regards to the Article 5 deadline extensions, as of August 2009, one state party declared fulfillment of its Article 5 obligations, Tunisia. This makes a total of only 11 state parties that have declared fulfillment of their Article 5 obligations. The situation in Djibouti, whose deadline expired on March 1st of this year, remains unclear. There has also been significant progress in demining over the last 10 years in areas and states not party to the Mine Ban Treaty, notably in China, Iran, Lebanon, Morocco, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, as well as in Taiwan, Georgia, and Libya, which have recently expressed a willingness to engage in further mine clearance operations on their territory. 19 mine-affected state parties have either missed their deadlines or have formally declared that they are not in a position to complete clearance operations before the treaty's 10-year deadline. Uganda declared at the Standing Committee meetings in May 2009 that it would meet its August 1, 2009 deadline, submitted a 3-year extension request on August 19. Until state parties decide on its request, Uganda will be in violation of the provisions of the Article 5. 2 of the 4 state parties that formally requested an extension to their Article 5 deadlines in 2009 were unable to provide reliable figures for the extent of contamination. Where weapons are concerned, there are always casualties, so let's touch on that as well. There are 73,576 casualties in 119 countries or areas in the past 10 years, of which 17,867 were killed, 51,711 injured, and 3,998 of unknown status. The true number of casualties in the past decade is unknown because this figure includes only recorded casualties. There was certainly underreporting throughout the decade due to the lack of adequate data collection mechanisms worldwide, a lack of retrospective data collection, and underreporting of certain groups of casualties such as foreign nationals, refugees or internally displaced persons, non-state armed groups, or ethnic minorities. Mine or explosive remnants of war casualties during the conflicts are also underreported. Also, many countries with mine or explosive remnants of war contamination transitioned out of conflict prior to 1999, meaning that most of their casualties would also have occurred before 1999. For example, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Burundi, Cambodia, Croatia, Egypt, El Salvador, Lao People's Democratic Republic, Mozambique, Nicaragua, Syria, or Vietnam. Most casualties, about 49,617 or 67%, occurred in 82 state parties. Among state parties, 9 in every 10 casualties happen in the so-called victim assistance 26 countries. This number is 44,694. Some 26% of total casualties during the decade happened in just 2 countries, Afghanistan about 16% and Cambodia about 10%. In states not party and areas not internationally recognized, there were 23,755 casualties. Recorded casualties reduced gradually throughout the decade from more than 8,000 per year between 1999 and 2003 to just over 7,000 in 2005 and fewer than 5,500 per year since 2007. Among the victim assistance 26 countries, 71% of casualties where the civil or military status was known were civilians and 2% were humanitarian deminers. Additionally, 24% were security forces, the majority in Colombia, and 3% were paramilitary or non-state armed groups. When the age was known, 68% of casualties were adults and 32% were children. The vast majority of casualties were male, which is about 90%, and men made up the largest casualty group, 63%, followed by boys about 27%, and then women and girls 5% each. In 2008, there were 5,197 recorded casualties from mines or explosive remnants of war and victim-activated IEDs, and slight decrease of the 5,426 in 2007 and 5,751 in 2006. Some 1,266 people were killed, 3,891 injured, and the status of 40 people was unknown. 10 countries with recorded casualties in 2007 did not record any casualties in 2008. Plenty of numbers, but always useful. In 2008, some 61% of casualties where civilian or military status was known were civilians. That is 2,821 of the 4,611 reported. While civilians still made up most of the casualties in 2008, as a percentage of total casualties, they were continued to decrease from 71% in 2007 and 81% in 2005 due to the high number of military casualties in the ongoing armed conflicts in Colombia and Myanmar. Also in 2008, the vast majority of casualties where the gender was known were male, that is 3,754 or 91% of 4,115. 361 were female, that is about 9%. Children accounted for 28% of casualties where the age was known.